So, Matrix 1, which, you know, saves us many times to constantly come back. Uh, but then Matrix 2, this one that malfunctioned in its own protocol, prolonging while, one was missing, deities were formed, a lot of shit went to hell, got trapped in a box, plagues, uh, prophecy, all of that. So, with that being said, something was in the works of a system that wasn't operating right. The, you know, blueprints of engineers, uh, you know, uh, uh, engineering, or what the heck is it called, architecture, forms, or, whatever, always will show, where the trail went from bad, okay, I'm not sure what was the problem, to finally summing them up, cleaning up the mess, to boom, that's where that little sprocket leakage, sensor malfunction, thinking incorrectly, not corresponding, not being able to adapt, being stuck during the evolution state, and it's not their fault in that sense of letting technology of cyber life as well as organic tissue life are both one and the same when it comes to actual life and evolving. But they just have different deficits, you know, uh, long periods, prolonging, et cetera, fillings, sensors, enhancements, all of that needs to evolve with the mind of the thinking operator for its vessel. So that's where Edward Scissorhands for a long time was just like, sorry. And, he had that sad face like I always ruin it or, cut somebody on accident, Um, but when it comes to being a real human, where did we lose that a long time ago? It's time to get that back. Because last year and this year beginning showcased how one unlucky fellow who ended up, being richest of all because the journey, the triumph, testimony, everything, the book will be written. And we're still in this lay low matrix, cloak. Yeah, right. We don't believe you. Oh, he's crazy. I mean, the poem of being rich in spirit doesn't lie, and it's continuous on both hands. Great, great, great fortune. Year of the snake was called Lucifer, was called the serpent, was called Messiah, was called the Christ. I wasn't really crazy about the Christ name at the beginning of that part, but later on, after I got rid of this imposter, spiritually, astrophysically, you might think he was out there interdimensionally, but literally I had to handle stuff where my surrounding didn't look like my backyard or front street or neighborhood. It was literally like being here, but with the split of a dark side Earth and a bright side Earth. A regular perfect 3D, one flattening, getting crushed type of module platform, The whole demographic of its picture was just getting smushed in at the end of this purge of 2024. Uh, Purge is actually made of two that was once one. And when you look at it, three moons, three eclipses, three dimensions, one, two, three. One is one is two, one is three. I always tell people you gotta learn the language of numbers. Well, I haven't said it so perfectly like that, but yeah, great, great way to respond for that teaching method. You have to learn the language of numbers. And yeah, that's just what I wanted to touch bases on. The Matrix 1, great job, got to live her life. Me and her obviously like gets to run into each other being those type of people where it's like, hey, I recognize you, you recognize me. But we met and it's that part, It's not amnesia, it's not deja vu, it is the actual truth of reliving constantly, whether it's the same face, same vessel, because spiritually we had to evolve from the smallest, microorganic microorganism, however you say it, to evolve into actually having more atoms, more blood, more flesh, all of that of creating your own skin and shell and protection and muscles and functioning as far as being top of the food chain. But yeah, there was a time where me and you were just two leaves that never met eye to eye or always were next to each other in the bush. There was a time where I was the hippo and you were the uh, giraffe. I mean, I was a snake. You were, let's see, the mammal, the female. All of these different things, we've all been them back and forth. So a lot of that is very big and important to explain.